situation from the time 7 years ago. I never was his lawyer because I'm not the one that committed the crime.
Yes.
The only thing I did was stand with him as I stand with you today, because I understand the infliction of pain. I understand that in our lives we have to process pain. And the reason why I stand here with you today is because I too have a problem with gun violence. I have a problem that you can go any street in Clarendon County, in any county, and buy a gun before you can buy a bag of grocery. I have a problem, and that's painful to me, that you can go on any corner and see a child that may be wearing their pants down, that may be out of a place of safety, but you can turn the corner and you can buy a gun and try to show strength. So I have a problem, and I have a problem that I process by asking God to give me what it takes to stand boldly. So when you have pain, I can stand here and tell you what I've been through, because there are others. There are other mothers. Statistics say that when your child commit a crime, there is a likelihood that you can lose your mind. But I am so glad that I was rooted and grounded and prepared for this. I am not the one to stand and tell you that it didn't hurt. I'm not the one to stand and tell you that I understand. But I ask God to give me something that would medicate pain. I'm going to tell you, the only thing that's going to help your pain is faith and forgiveness. Faith and forgiveness. I choose to say faith and forgiveness because I tell everybody, when a situation like this happens and a child or someone is murdered, the first thing you got to do is get out of the way. Let them heal. I work at South Carolina State University, and the crime happened at South Carolina State University. I have to go to work every day. I have to experience this pain every day. I told my husband when it first happened, the day it happened, I said, pick me up and let me get out of the way. I said, because this community has to heal. This community don't need to hear my pity story or my victim story. This community don't need to see my victim story nor my pity story, because there has been an infliction of pain by the hands of our son. And because of that, I need to steal away and ask God to help them be strengthened. I need to steal away and ask God. Now, some people may say, how can she stand this? She's saying that because her son did not die. But if you ever had any type of injury or any type of pain from any adverse effect, it feels like you died. It feels like you've lost everything. But it's because of I know who God is in my life. I stole away, not for my son at that time, because he has to carry his own cross. But I steal away because there was a mother that I knew right around the corner from my office that had a son. That son that I served, and I don't know what happened. But one thing I did know that happened is that I was not going to allow the enemy to separate the love of God in my heart, to stand in the forefront, to try to make out like it's my fault or your fault. So I stealed away. I'm telling you, families, steal away. Sometimes I know that there is the media that's coming. Sometimes I know that people want to bring attention to it. This is your loved one, and you have the right to operate in your pain and process your pain in whatever way you want to process it and whatever way God wants you to process it. So it's okay to steal away. I'm very glad that there's a quarantine, because it's been an extensive need for us to shut the door and get before the Lord and have a little talk with Jesus. Because we have too much going on in our communities that we allow just to go by as a surface, instead of getting in a deep connection with who God is and realizing when we connect to Him, things will change. So I steal away. The next thing is that you find yourself in this time, 7 years later. I have a passion for serving. I have a passion for serving. Not because of what my son did, because the only way that you're going to see change is that you get in the movement of what change is. You can stand on the outside and be a spectator. spectator and assume that nothing is going on. But when you get in the inside and you find out that you can be a part of the movement, then you will see how change occurs. I understand today that we're celebrating the fact that your loved one was murdered. And I thank God that you are here to stand, because that means that you're a part of the movement. Take a stand. But when you take the stand, don't just take it today. Stand boldly in your spirit. Stand boldly in your heart. Stand boldly against the things that are not of God in your community. Because one thing I want you to recognize is that in your community, where you have someone that has been murdered, you also got someone that's the mother, sister, brother, father, cousin of that suspect. And if we don't bind together in love, we're going to create a domino effect of what just happened. You know, I'm reminded, because I'm from Charleston, and you all know what happened in Charleston, and you all know how brutally gruesome it was. But then the day that he went to court, his mom was just trying to tell him to calm down. And he turned around and said, "Shut up." And then she had a massive heart attack. And on top of having a massive heart attack, she's never spoken since that day. Okay, well, that's what happens. That's what most people say. But the grace of God is not a cause and effect thing. It does not allow us to pick and choose where we're going to serve, pick and choose who we're going to love, pick and choose who we're going to forgive. What it does is tells us that at any time when you're affected by the injustices and the systemic racism and the violence that is in your community, you better grab hold to who Jesus is, have a little talk with Jesus, and tell him to place your feet flat-footed, that you'll be able to stand against the wolves in your house. My brothers and my sisters, I thank God for this opportunity. I'm praying for you all. I am praying for you all. But on the other side of this, there's an unaddressed victim. I'm studying now. I'm working on my doctoral degree, and my dissertation says the unaddressed victim, family members of those that are incarcerated. And the reason why I'm studying on that is because we didn't commit the crime. And I understand that we are connected to the crime. But the stigma that holds on a family, the anger that holds on a family, is something that will brutally destroy your heart. It will brutally decay at you. It will kill you if you don't allow faith and forgiveness to be your guide. So as you go through your time of healing, heal and allow God to do it. Songwriters say God wants to heal you. And if you allow God to heal you, then one day you will stand boldly and say, if it had not been for the Lord on my side, where would I be? Where would I be? Now, my last thing is, to the mothers, to these, first of all, to these founders and these visionaries for this program, to all of the city officials, to my wonderful husband who has been there from day one, to all the pastors, all of friends, all to this community, I'm telling you, if you're not in a movement, get in a movement. And the reason why I say is because I don't want us to continue to just protest when something happens. There's the PTA meeting that should be overflowing with us. There's the city council meeting that should be overflowing with us. We should not wait until an accident or something comes that's painful. And the reason why I say that is because if I had not been rooted and grounded in God, if I had not known him for the pardon of my sins, if I had not known him as a way maker, a peacekeeper, if I had not known him as the lily in the valley or the bright and morning star, I don't think I would have been able to sustain the pain that I went through. But because he lives, and because I can stand here and tell you the story, if you get in the movement, don't wait till it knocks on your door. Don't wait until it crosses your path. Whatever it is, if you get into the movement of serving a true and living God, if you get in the movement of following and doing the right thing and making your voice sound, if you get into the movement of voting and not standing on the sideline, if you get into the movement of whatever you can get in the movement on, I can assure you that your spirit will cry, "It is well, it is well, it is well." To God be the glory.